I just remembered that tonight on the World Wide Web you will be able to watch three grown men sing and dance their way through the music of the ages. Jabberjawn, the musical, brought to you in precise, clear spoken word version that you are able to add to your own music to. And today, listening a Hardy Boys book on CD, I heard that a person... Oops, gotta go.
Three little frogs sitting on a log. One of them fell in. One frog said to the other frog, well, you better go get her. Two little frogs sitting on a log. One of them fell in. Last little frog, he sat and thought, good thing they can swim. Jabberjaw, 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 Jabberjaw. Three little frogs sitting on a log. One burst into a grin. One frog said to the other frog, wonder what's got into him. Two little frogs sitting on a log. One laughed until he is red. Last little frog, he sat and thought, it must have been something I said. Jabberjaw, Jabberjaw.
Everybody sings along.
Was that AI?
Jabberjaw.
I did that. You should do the AI version for this new season.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. That would be weird to hear that. Maybe we say this a little bit.
Yay! Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Jabberjawn. My name is Nathan Moore.
My name is Kyle Hogg.
I'm Senor Moore.
Senor Moore.
God, I felt
Welcome
the same
to the
way when you
show.
were playing that.
What's that?
I felt the same
Oh, yeah?
thing when you were playing that. I was expecting people to come out dancing.
I had 5 years of flamenco. I was a professional flamenco dancer.
Wow.
I was standing in a box, confessing everything I had on my mind. The saddest part of it all was a blessing. Can't you see, even though you're blind, I was the last of the living, somewhere between the shore and the sea. I'd be lying if I didn't have misgivings, all up to me. Well, that head above the fence, it was a wise one. Saw things in me I had not yet become. Said, keep your eyes on the horizon. There you can stare right into the sun. I was the last of the living, somewhere between the shore and the sea. I'd be lying if I didn't have misgivings, all up to me. Do you recognize the line in there? I feel like I got that from one of your Facebook poems. Somewhere between the shore and the sea. I forget what you brought that up on a Jabberjawn, talking about his post. Does it ring any bell at all?
I remember I don't remember.
I can't remember the context either.
I remember saying there had to be another line. I want to know what the next line was.
I heard church bells ringing, angels singing, they's all calling me home. But I had to cast my line a few more times into the stream. When in Rome, all alone, I was the last of the living, somewhere between the shore and the sea. I'd be lying if I didn't have misgivings. All up to me. All up to me. Woo. Yay! And we're in.
All right.
Yeah, I forget what point there was. I got that line from you, I know.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kyle, like you were like, oh, I like that poem you posted. This is a year ago, probably. And you, so I went and looked at it, borrowed that line.
Well, I'm honored,
It's in there.
and I'm sure the check is in the mail.
In a way, that was a little bit of a preview for the show we're doing this Sunday at the Blackfriars Playhouse, the Nathan Moore Trio, which is actually called Manouche. But I didn't put that on the billing because I didn't
What
think of
is
it.
that? What is that
It's
come from? I've never heard
it
of
might
that.
be French, definitely like from the Romanian gypsies in France back in the day. I don't know if it's like a dialect or if it's just French, but it means new man. But manouche is also the more classic term they use now to describe gypsy jazz music. That whole genre of music is now called manouche, or in some, because gypsy is one of those words you're not supposed to say
So
anymore.
are you playing that kind of music? Then?
It's heavily infused. Nathan Moore songs heavily infused with a gypsy jazz rhythm or whatever. And yeah, it's just got that jink 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 jink.
Well,
But broken up with a few of the more I wouldn't call them ballads necessarily, but like Do You Believe in Ghosts or a couple of songs like that. Let Me Know from the new record. So those don't have that thing, but it's a nice little sushi or ginger between sushi bites, cleanse the palate. But we've really been having fun, Rennie, Lex, and I, rehearsing these.
well, yeah, sushi every night. I guess you are. Dang,
It's a fun sound.
that's great. I'll look forward to seeing it. Are they streaming it in any way for the general public?
Not that I know of. I have not heard.
I'll bet you could pay 18 cents to see that. I mean, if enough people did it, that'd be a lot of money.
Yeah, you just do the math. You look pretty good. You having a good week?
I'm having a real good week.
Wow.
I think it's about over. I'm going to take the next week off, just recover. I've been out and done something every day.
You've just been doing stuff.
Yeah, I've gotten out of the house. Haven't driven, but got friends picking me up and taking me places. And started with, last Friday.
Yeah, you were at the party.
Made that. And then Saturday I had.
Thank you both for coming to my birthday party.
That was wonderful.
It was fun.
That music was really amazing. It's just remarkable to me how y'all can pick up music like that. I mean, y'all are so in tune with each other. I thought it was amazing. So then the next day, Eva had a soccer game over at VSDB, so I got to see all the grandkids.
Well, that's cool.
So Sunday was
Did
football
they win?
day. And what's that?
Did they win, or do they not
Yeah, they
care?
won 4-0, but it wasn't a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But she had fun and they did good, so it was all good. And so that was all good. And then so this week I've been seeing people, visiting friends, and people coming to visit me, and it's been nice.
That's great.
I've walked every morning, and I've gotten my mile in. I have to walk twice to do that, so this is not very interesting.
Trying to do a mile a day?
Yeah, that's my goal.
That's pretty interesting to me, because that's a mile more a day than I do.
Yeah, well, I have my little thing on the phone tells me if I've got 2,100, I'm down there doing push-ups and No, I do hand. I get points for this too. So at the end of the night, I'm in bed doing this.
It's funny how that works.
Trying to get that sheet exactly right. That's not it. Tucked right around
Yeah,
my neck.
the little
Ding, ding,
the little
ding.
thing will bubble and balloons will fly, and I'll put it away and go to bed.
Funky Foot first. Good to see you.
Hey, that's my man right there. I really love the music, whatever, was amazing. But the guy on the little tiny little organ thing he was playing, what was that little
Yeah,
thing?
I guess it's just a little battery-powered keyboard.
It sounded, the sounds it had though were so cool. It went with the music so well.
That organ sounds like what?
I know, I couldn't believe it. It sounded so cool.
I feel bad when I bought that synthesizer of mine. The newer version that they had a built-in speaker.
Oh wow.
And that has a battery compartment on it, but I'd have to bring a little battery-powered speaker or something to go with it. But I've kicked myself a couple of times that I didn't get the one like he has. That's so fun.
Carl's he's always showing up with the coolest trinkets like that. You know, all these little gadgets that make sounds. But that was one of the coolest organ sounds I've ever heard on someone's lap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sounded proper.
He'd love your little bass with a built-in drum machine.
I know. I was actually like, because when I was walking up, he was walking down, I guess, from where he parked, and we kind of met, and then we came up to the house. And there was a second there where I was going to turn around and go get it.
Because he would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a bass with a drum machine built into it?
Yeah.
Something that you made or it came that way?
No, it's called a Vox Apache. It was made in the mid '90s, I guess, maybe later '90s, '97, '8 or something, if memory serves correct. But we're not very many made. It was made by the company Vox, who, you know.
We found him when I found out it existed. I was like, we got to get this for Lex, and we got him the only one in the United States at the time.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
It was the only one for sale, anyways.
You can find a lot over in Japan and Korea, other parts of the world, but yeah, they're pretty. There's not a whole lot of them floating around, and it takes batteries, and it has a built-in speaker on it, and so.
Oh, is this like a stand-up bass or
No,
just
it's
a
an
bass?
electric bass,
Oh, okay.
and it looks like an egg. It's like the body of it doesn't look like a normal guitar or anything. It's like an egg shape almost, like a
Wow.
big oval or small oval. But it's got a speaker built into it, and then you can you turn it on and you can play the bass and you can hear the bass notes. But it also has a drum machine that you can start and stop, and there's like 40 different preloaded beats on there that you can play along to or goof off with, and it's got different dials on it, so you can turn the tempo down and slow it down or speed it up and
Oh my gosh.
blend it in and all that. And it's really cool. It's got a really great sound, I think, a very unique sound when you plug it in. Like, it's a good bass,
Right.
you know. So yeah, it's just all kinds of cool.
We should try that with me, you and Rennie, at some point.
I agree. Yeah. It's a lot to look at, though. So you don't want to, that's why I was like, are we standing up or sitting down? Because I almost like would want to play that bass, but I wouldn't want to like, I don't know. I'm a little self-conscious, especially if it's like acoustic instruments around, otherwise, Be like,
goes
not
Space
only has he
Boy.
got an electric bass, but what the hell is this thing? Even though it's like the coolest bass ever.
Wow,
But yeah,
that's crazy.
I helped Nathan out with some music stuff, and him and Kethra got that for me. They gifted that to me. Just was very sweet, and I'm just so grateful because I play it all the time. It's like basically my daily practice bass.
Oh my gosh, that's so weird.
Because I can sit anywhere and just turn that switch on and just hear the bass, like I'm plugged into an amp.
Right.
So.
I bet it gets, when the batteries are dying, I bet it gets even cooler for a second.
Yeah, it starts
Like
to
a
really break
growl.
up. Yeah, that's when you want to record. Yeah.
Hey, Heather, good to see you. She says, hi, guys, just home from the Franks Mill Country Club.
Oh, nice. Good fall night for that.
Yeah, but it's beautiful out there.
We went. I went and saw. What was the name of that thing? Fells Point. What was it?
What's that now?
The Civil War. I went and did some Civil War.
Cross Keys.
Cross Keys. Yeah.
Well, you're reenacting?
No, just Stephanie's stepfather is up visiting, and he just is one of those guys you talk to. He remembers every general's name and the date of every battle.
Mm-hmm.
He was reenacting.
He's done reenactments, so he wanted to go just see some stuff. And it was there's a graveyard there that was actually there during the battle, so people were hiding behind the gravestones, as protection. And then when they were dead, they just buried them right there in the graveyard.
Oh my goodness. Where was this?
What's it called? What is it? Keys? What?
Cross Keys.
Cross Keys.
Cross Keys
Up near
Battlefield.
Harrisonburg, yeah.
Yeah. It's not too far away from Harrisonburg up there.
It's not
It's
a
one of
big.
the early Valley campaign battles with Stonewall Jackson and early on.
Wow.
It's not a big battlefield. It's private land now, so just a couple of markers. But it was sort of.
Are there any hot stops right here in Stanton for that kind of tour?
I didn't know it, but while we were out there, there's a site you can go to that'll just basically, your car will just drive you around and look at stuff. Did they fight here in Stanton?
No. But, both sides bivouacked here.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of them had they had hospitals here. So they occupied it, but they didn't fight in it. They didn't actually destroy any of it like they did some places.
There's some little, for a few weeks or something, the Virginia legislature met at the Trinity Church or something.
One night.
Is it just one night?
Yeah, they were on their way out of town, so they stopped there for one of the first stops.
But they had fled Richmond and came here? Or
Yeah,
something?
they
Wow.
were getting caught, so they'd stayed, and Richmond was getting beat. So they came here and then kept going.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny hearing somebody, because he's like he knows about the battles and stuff, but he also sort of knows about the time period back then. And we were out there. He's like, just imagine you were just some farm guy. Like the loudest thing you hear might be like a hammer or a dog barking. There's no engines, there's no planes. You're just there, and all of a sudden you're in this field and just, things exploding and just he was saying, just imagine what your brain would be doing. You're like, what in the world? I thought we were gonna fight. Now that the world was ending all of a sudden. I never really thought about that before. How different that was. Man, what in the world?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very impressed. Anything people that can name music or Civil War stuff. Just man, how do you remember all that stuff? Oh, that was Sherman in June 8th, 1862.
It's funny. It's sort of a meme now. I saw a stand-up comedian. It's make a joke about how he was really getting into history, and that was a warning sign of a future Republican or something like that. That whole. I wonder if that will carry on, because I've known a lot of Civil War buffs and people that, like you say, know every general, every battle and stuff like that. But I wonder if that's a dying archetype that any young person fascinated with that stuff these days. I don't know if it's the same.
It won't be the same, because not all of them, but a lot of the people you're talking about that get into the Civil War have relatives. They have a genetic history that brings them to that. They start off studying about their family, and that little boy was part of their family,
Right.
And so they have a real interest in it. But as you are alluding to, in the future, that won't be true with the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll still be, as a study of wars, it's pretty interesting, because you did have the way it was set up geometrically. It was played out like a chess game on some level with Robert E. Lee and Grant and all that. So, that the military strategy part of it will always be of interest. There's that crew, and
I wonder what was the. It seems like there's not as much of a fascination with the Revolutionary War. but was
No,
that not
no, and
was it
that's-
not very bloody?
Well, the thing about it, it's weird. Like down here, we don't hear about it. But when I moved to New Jersey, they were talking about the war, and they were talking about the soldiers and stuff. And me and Lisa left. I was like, there's no Civil War battles fought up here. And I was like pissed. The guy, like, this guy's up there talking shit. And I was like, oh my God, he's talking about the Revolutionary War. 'Cause up
right.
there, that's what because they don't have all the Civil War stuff like we do. It's like all this Revolutionary War
And by
stuff
the
up
same
there.
token, we don't have the Revolutionary
Yeah.
War.
Yeah.
There's not that much.
None of it was fought
We were
here.
just more of
Right.
a colony back then, and
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of things done right there.
Right.
In the East, there were. I shouldn't say that really.
How
But,
was it? How bloody was the Revolutionary War?
well, I think it was bloody. First of all, it was only half as bloody as the Civil War in terms of Americans, because in the Civil War, everybody that was killed was an American. So I'm not saying disparaging the British; they have their, side to being dead too. But the idea being in our thinking, we didn't lose, and we fought more as armies. There was a military. All the generals went to the same schools, and there were rules of battle that were followed more. And of course, that's one of the things about the revolution is we started fighting like outdoorsmen instead of,
Right.
we were not
Instead of
as
like
regulated.
gentlemen.
Yeah, we were gentlemanly enough, and that really hurt them at that time. So but they tended to be in armies that would come in, and so you could see the demarcation. But like in the Civil War, everybody was affected by it because you just never trust what was going to happen next. And I'm talking about my part. We're out in the West Coast; they probably think everything differently about all of this. They had their Wild West to deal with.
Right.
And it was so strange to think like the Revolutionary War. I mean, just natural common sense. If they were going to go to war, you would think, all right, I'm going to try to look as invisible as possible so nobody sees me. But they just come in those red jackets and stuff. Like, here we are, standing in a straight line, shooting. It's like,
the rules back then
Yeah.
were so barbaric and weird and regimented.
No, wait a minute. You can't say that's barbaric.
Well, just
Barbaric is hiding behind a tree and shooting potty when they're not looking.
yeah, but you had a lot more people die the civilized way. It was just
Well, see, the thing is, it only works that stand in the line if the other side plays the same way.
right.
Right.
When you meet,
If it's just like if that guy's got a gun over there with one shot and you got a 6-shooter, I bet your side's going to win. That's the way a lot of it works. Remington was making a lot of money back then. What's new? Better than a new air fryer. New way to kill somebody.
isn't Remington, isn't he the one that said he wished he had never invented that? Like, that was the worst thing he ever did.
I don't remember. Could be.
I have become death.
Yeah, it was like he just said, oh my God, I've killed so many people by inventing this thing. I can't imagine being in a battle at all, or even a fist fight, but to fire, then have to take time to load it with bullets going on around. You're like, oh, give me 5 minutes to load this thing back up.
Unbelievable, right?
Oh, God. I mean, I would have fired, just dropped the gun and been like, run it.
You gotta wonder how they stack that deck too. Like if you're in the formation, like they had to put all their like worst soldiers on one level on the front line, but then you want your best.
Yeah.
Like how do you even draw those straws?
He was talking
It
about
was such a
he was
trip.
talking about something it's fascinating talking to him. He talked about in any war, he wasn't blaming these guys. People just run. You desert the lines. You just want to, you want to survive, and you just freak out, whatever. But those people couldn't go home because they would be like, "What are you doing here? I thought your whole troop was, killed," and they couldn't say, "Well, I ran." So he said, "Think of how many lives started." Like when they would just run, they wouldn't go home to Alabama or wherever. They'd move out west or something because they just couldn't face the shame of running.
Wow.
And I never thought about that either. Like how And so he was talking about it, and I went to the book sale today, and I got this. It was a book, Gettysburg from letters, like all letters about Gettysburg. And he was looking at it. He said, "Well, that's the truth. This is the people that were actually there." And he said, "Well, actually, it's the truth, as they wanted the people they were writing the letters to believe." Like they didn't say I ran behind a tree and hid for 8 hours. They wrote the battle was terrible. And, you know, I saw all my best men murdered. Well, they don't say, but I was hiding in a hole behind a tree. You know?
Right.
So it is a weird way of looking at it.
Was there a draft for the Civil War?
I'm not sure. Yes, there were. They called it sedition, I think. But yeah, but a lot of it was volunteer. You know, people wanted to serve.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much they were forced into doing it. But yeah, take a kid from New Hampshire
Social
and bring him
pressure
down
too.
here, and
Right.
all of a sudden he's getting shot at. It's just crazy. Scars you.
Mm-hmm.
War scars you if it doesn't kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. It sort of reminded me of Vietnam when he was talking about it, because it's like, he said the South did pretty good as long as we were under attack, because they were protecting themselves. But then when the South decided they want to go north, those guys were like, we don't care about the North. We don't want their land. They fought hard and did better when they were down here because it's their farm and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then when somebody tries to tell you, okay, now we're going to go up and fight in Maryland, like, whoa, I don't really care about Maryland that much.
Right.
Going up to Pennsylvania, going to Gettysburg. Well, I live this other way, so y'all go ahead.
Yeah, from being from the South, I have much more of sort of I've heard a lot more, so more understanding of the motivation for the soldiers or whatever has been discussed so many times. The North is a little bit different.
Yeah.
I don't hear those voices. I haven't read those letters or
Right.
whatever. The Ken Burns version of what was motivating the young men of the North, even though they were, from a historical perspective, heroes and on the side of the right side of history and the arc of justice. Was that their motivation at the time, or was that what drove them?
I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was an individual thing, and it was true to some extent for almost all of them, but, you know, I don't know what all was involved with that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just putting it out there. 'Cause
I mean, I always thought when I was younger about thinking about this was that if I had been a young man growing up in that time, I didn't know anything about slavery in terms of my life. I didn't have slaves or anything like that. So I would, you know, it wasn't that I was for slavery. I would feel like I was being invaded.
Mm-hmm.
And a Southern person just not like being told what to do.
Nobody does.
Nobody does, but a Southerner, right? Because we left all these Southern white people. We all come from, not all, but you know, people. A lot of them come to escape being told how to believe in their religion.
Mm-hmm.
It was religious persecution that brought a lot of those people here, and the effects of that in terms of being unsafe. So they came here to establish a new place. So when they start coming down here and they're, you know, with their guns, and you're ready to defend your place, because they were here long enough to feel like they were having a place,
Right.
and they were fighting for their place.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, nobody talks about that too much, I don't think. But that's a whole part of it, I think, for a lot of those young men. And it wasn't. They were representing the family because they were the ones that were healthy enough to do it.
Right.
So they were going to go, by God, they're going to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure the Union side had the same idea. We want to, you know, of protecting the country and keeping it one and all that.
Preserving the Union.
Saving the Union.
I can just imagine, though, like you're growing up in Stanton, you decide, man, I just want an adventure. You go out and play music and stuff. These guys, probably most of them would live and die within like 10 miles of where they grew up. And like they didn't have like all the news we have, how actual terrible war is. they probably had like some fist fights or something. I love to fight, you know. They're like, oh, me and all the buddies are joining up, go down and fight. They don't know what war's like. They never experienced it, you know. Then you get down there like, what the hell have I done? I wanted to get off the farm for a few weeks or out of the factory. Now, but I'm sure it was like a sense of adventure, like going to sea or something. Like, let's go fight in the war.
I mean, that still existed
Oh, yeah.
all the way up through World War II. Had a lot of that. By Vietnam,
We'd seen we knew what was going on.
yeah,
So,
there seemed to be a tone shift.
Right.
There's no draft in World War II. They didn't need to be forced.
Oh no.
There was still that thing in the air of adventure, and this is my
Defending
time
the
to be a
country.
hero, and you know,
Yeah, we were slow.
man, we need you.
yeah.
That's all they had to say.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But by Vietnam, that sales pitch was no longer working on humanity, and people were just forced into it.
well, because the Vietnam people had grown up with like parents, fathers that had seen war and knew what war was, or was suffering, you know, PSTD or whatever, you know. And they're like, man, I'm not hearing all the glory stories I used to, you know.
I don't think anybody ever knew why we were there. You know, you talk about stopping a domino effect and all that, but you know, you're going over there, you're taking these young men of your country into those jungles and subjecting them to just horrible experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And why are we doing that? And you know, there was a big wave. That was a big wave in that time to bring those boys home.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the saddest part is that when they came home, some of these leftist people were so far out that they didn't honor them for what they did do. They actually, that was so disgusting to me. I'm still disgusted by that behavior.
The sweet part of it is that they were up against a bit of naivety that I still romanticize to a certain extent. That there was this idea that happened on the left that soldiers, it's like that Universal Soldier song. Remember that?
Yeah.
He's 5'10", he's 2 foot. Or his
Well,
orders.
Don't do that. You're going to get charged.
That's right, copyright strike. But the idea was that if soldiers disobeyed their orders and put down their guns, war would be impossible. That quit fighting the top and yelling at these people that will never listen to you, and just all of humanity. It was like the people versus the powers, because the powers are the ones that start the wars and send the kids to they sit behind desks and send children to fight each other. And so there was this notion on the left and the flower power that in trying to implore humanity just to stop obeying orders. Don't follow that order anymore. And the the ramifications of like spitting on troops when they come back after all this was horrible. But there's the other side of that coin was that notion that they were trying to, that seed they had planted, that they were trying to get to sprout to where humanity would be inspired on a common level just to not follow those orders anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's
I heard
so
what
many
you said.
songs about it back then that even today no one would sing that anymore. Like, it was just such a hopeful blip of a moment of those kinds of ideas that they seem naive to a lot of people at the time, and they seem naive again. But there was this one summer around '68 where everybody was like, "Oh my goodness!" It was like a revelation. We could just not follow these orders anymore. So in that sense, there was a conviction that the soldiers themselves were to blame.
Yeah. Well, that's full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think they're seeing it the way you ought to be able to see that.
Right.
and I don't really want to go into that right now.
What don't you want to go into?
My reasoning behind some of the things you just said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel up to that.
Yeah, it's tough stuff.
I mean, there's just two sides to it, and it just depends on the perspective you take.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a certain perspective, but I don't.
Well, I mean, it's not
I don't
gonna-
need to share it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a perspective that's gonna save you from invading force. Ukraine could have all been hippies, and they would have just been run over. Like there's no. You need both sides to play that enlightenment game. You can't just.
You gotta go back to the Revolutionary War. We're all playing with the same rules.
Mm-hmm, right.
Well, I'll put on tie-dye and not have guns. Perfect. This will work out. That's what sometimes when I see, like, Portland and all that stuff, all this National Guard, I'm like, those National Guard kids don't know anything about what's going on with Trump and stuff. They were just wanting to make some extra bucks, and hey, I'll do once a weekend a month out in the National Guard. Now they're standing up there like, man, like you said, they gotta put warm bodies up there to do it. But it's like, oh, like ICE. I think you want to do that. Maybe just for monetary reasons, you want to make a living, but they're actually out there doing something that they sort of believe in. I guess these National Guard kids are just like, oh my God, they're probably like, man, I wish so much I was over there drinking some good coffee with you and listening to some music and not standing here.
The inflatable cartoon animal costumes are such a great move.
Isn't that funny?
I'm proud of them for having that response so far.
It's so funny. I thought about it when I saw that, and I saw the frog and all the people that are coming out. I was like, man, that is so beautiful. That's so perfect. Then I thought, imagine how much that frustrates somebody that thinks like the left's just a bunch of goofballs and can do whatever they want. They don't. I was like, that's probably so. Instead of making everything seem light, like let's all calm down, it's probably like, damn kids, they don't realize this is serious. Like it sparks such anger. I would imagine.
Right,
some people.
I can see that. Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand the main thing of it is, hey, let's just chill out and everybody, look, this is ridiculous. I'll take this suit off if you'll take yours off. Well, but I can see, like, some.
You know what we're talking about, right? Have you seen the footage?
I don't want to go there. I'm fine listening.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just, like you said, the warm bodies that need to be sent out there.
Well, maybe you can tell me, because there might be somebody out there that doesn't know what you're talking about.
Hey, Josepha.
There's a guy dressed in a big frog outfit, and he's just going out and standing in front of protesting. And now other people have started showing up in different costumes.
The ICE raids and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, in Portland.
Okay.
But it started out with this frog, which is awesome. By the way, this is our new member of our set that was sent to me from Swaby out in Utah.
Oh,
Little
that's
birthday
great.
present.
When I came in, I said, I don't think we ever had him up here before.
That's great. Is it a puppet?
I don't. No, he's not really a puppet. He's got little Velcro on his hands though, so he can hold on. Hi ho. But it started with a frog, and it was so funny because the first time I saw the frog was on this right-wing podcast guy, and he was filming somebody getting arrested at the ICE facility, and this frog was there. I was like, oh my God, look at this frog. And then he started following the action of the guy that they were arresting or whatever, and he went away from the frog. I was like, go back to the frog. I want to see that frog again. And that was like the first night. But then that footage and everything got so much traction that everybody just went out and bought these giant cartoon animal costumes.
Okay.
So now there's and it's such a funny move because it's almost Trumpian to a certain extent because it's like now they're all like these standoff of armed military kind of guys, and then all these cartoon animals. And the last thing ICE wants is footage of them arresting this giant frog. Like, that footage is just like, it's
Right.
it's dangerous. It's dangerous. So they haven't been able to touch them. And it's sort of it's everybody's trolling each other.
That's funny.
It is pretty funny.
Yeah, I haven't been on the media as much. I'm trying to stay away.
That's a healthy move.
For my health, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my doctor told me I need to not see a lot of that.
I saw a video where it's like
Wise
a
doctor.
group of them, and they're all like dancing because there's like somebody's like playing some music out there and stuff, and they're all just dancing and stuff, and it's like doesn't look like much of a war zone here in Portland. Is this the war zone they're talking about?
There you go.
I was thinking how funny it would be if the Democrats, and they'll never do this, even though I think this would be a brilliant move. If after living through all this Trump stuff, if Democrats started wearing a hat to say "Make America Great Again," like let's just get rid of Trump and go back to what we had before him. Like if they came out with just like a different color, like a blue hat, "Make America Great Again." I was like, man, that'd be total cool marketing. Like use his own slogan to like drown him out.
I bet somebody's going to do it tonight.
Are you gonna go to the No Kings protest
that's
on
the 18th,
Saturday?
yeah. Actually, we're going out to near Natural Bridge to the Civil War guys. Never been out there to see the Civil War dinosaur thing.
What's the Civil War dinosaur?
Oh boy.
Oh, you've never been there? It's like this guy built this battlefield in the North are all riding dinosaurs. The North had the power with the use of dinosaurs. So it's like a big thing out in the woods set up. It takes you like, a long time to walk around it. It's a whole battle scene.
How could I have not heard of this?
So he was talking about the Civil War and stuff. He's like, well, I'm sure you knew about the North using dinosaurs. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? She goes, we'll take you out there Saturday to see it.
They had a whole thing over there.
That's great.
You've been there, Lex?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've taken the kids there a couple times, like throughout the years, but
Where is it?
it's in Natural Bridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's this guy. I think his name is Max Klein.
Yeah, he's Paul's brother, from the drummer from the Findales.
Oh really?
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
That's right, I did hear that.
Small world.
Yeah.
Well, he's done all kinds of like whimsical statues out of like fiberglass and plaster and stuff, and he like that big dragon with the eggs and everything that used to be downtown for Potter Festival.
Right.
He made that. He stopped bringing it because it's too fragile. But
Oh, I know what you're talking
he's
about.
done a ton of things, man. Like all these, but that park has all these big dinosaurs.
Do you have to pay an entrance fee?
Yeah.
But it was so fun because it's really it cracks you up to just see it, like the gray and blue uniforms, the old rifles and stuff. Like one got a sword hanging off of a dinosaur.
Yeah, or like the T-Rex, and he's like got the
Confederate guy in his
Confederates,
mouth.
yeah, he's like totally eating them. Just like what happened. I mean, it's a good depiction, These are the stories that they don't teach us.
Ken Burns skipped that whole part.
Yeah.
It was all the controversy about the dinosaurs. He didn't want to have to get into.
The budget for the animation was just too high. They couldn't put the dinosaurs in it.
Isn't there some like religious place that has they recreated Noah's Ark, but they also have dinosaurs or something?
Oh wow!
I've heard about the Noah's Ark like theme park thing.
There's some crazy Christian theme park that has like dinosaurs.
Wow.
Gosh, I don't know. Well, I think
have questions.
Noah's Ark you're talking about, that's one that was built for a movie, right? And they just left it out
No,
there.
is that what happened?
Yeah, I think it was
don't know.
made for the movie, and then when the movie was done, they didn't tear it up, so somebody's using it now as like a tourist thing.
Speaking of that, the movie Evan Almighty a lot of it was shot in Stanton.
I don't know what that movie is.
It's like Steve Carell,
Oh wow!
Morgan Freeman, right?
maybe. Yeah, it's like God gives a person his abilities or something.
Wow.
I thought of it
didn't
because it's
know.
in that same. Does he build an ark? I don't know.
Maybe that's it.
Something like that.
Maybe that's what it is.
Another one is Hearts in Atlantis. That has some great Sears Hill shot in Stanton. I think
Was
there's-
that the Civil War one?
No, it's like Anthony Hopkins,
I didn't know about this movie.
but you really recognize Stanton in that.
Wow.
What's it called?
Hearts of Atlantis, I think. Any more movies shot in Stanton anybody knows about?
Nope.
It was a movie from my hometown. And it was called, if I'm not mistaken, it was called The Death of Ocean View Amusement Park or something like that. And it was like but it was a film that came out, but it was about like the destruction of like something happens at the amusement park and they have to tear the thing down.
Oh, they were gonna raise the amusement park anyway, so they decided to make a movie around it.
Yeah. And actually, this is kind of a fun story. When I was little, I remember my mom, so I would have been about 5 when this happened. No, 3, I think it was 78. But I remember there was a McDonald's kind of across this big avenue, and then that's where the park was, along the beach. And we went to McDonald's and parked in the parking lot and ate fries because it was going to be the second attempt that they were going to do to blow up this
Oh wow.
roller coaster. And they did it, pow, 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 and nothing came down again.
Oh wow!
They were going to tear it down because they condemned it to be unsafe, that it would fall down like with the gust of wind. And it took 3 rounds of dynamite like teams took 3 tries to finally bring it down, and it still didn't all the way come down.
Wow!
Yeah. But I was there for one of those films.
One of the duds.
Yeah. I was like, what happened? Was that it? And I remember, I can kind of remember this. My mom just being like, I'm not sure what just happened.
Whatever happened, let's go ride it one more time because it's still standing.
I never went to that amusement park though. My mom grew up going there.
Man.
Heather says, Gods and Generals. Part of it was shot at that big house across the street from where I lived on Sherwood.
That's what I was trying to think of, yeah.
Gods and Generals. Well, before we went live, Dad said he had an idea for a new segment for our Jabberjohn show called, we don't have the graphics yet. We have to get the theme music and the graphics. What is it? Stuff people don't talk about.
Yeah, I thought we could do this. You could take this apart and make AY people of us that look real intelligent and talk about some subject like that. You know, you could just create, but I don't think we ought to, because these are things you don't talk about.
Right.
So you ready?
Yeah.
They don't know, this is what I came up with. Abortion.
Mm.
I believe that that's one of the biggest problems that we have in this country.
Mm-hmm.
The concept of abortion. Yeah, and here's where I'm going to go, and then I'm going to hear what y'all think about that. You know, in other words, we could talk a lot about different topics, but here's what I wanted to say. What I was realizing the other day is that this dichotomy that we've got going on in the country, red and blue, whatever we call it, the liberal and the conservative, that's being fomented by certain things in the world right now, and they're trying to pull us apart. One of the problems that is in here that we're not talking about is abortion. Because when I look at it, see, the difference is from the left side, and I'm not tonight trying to pass a judgment here. I want us to look at it and see what we can come up with. But what we've got is on the left side, we have people saying it's a woman's right to decide. We need to be able to do this in a safe way because people are going to do it. You know, you have this list of reasons. that are all valid reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And over here, on the conservative side, you have a different faction that believes that morally an abortion is an evil thing, to the point where, strictly speaking, and this is where a lot of the dichotomy comes, if I'm looking at you and you say you support abortion, you are a potential murderer. Well, there's no way to bring that together.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I think you're a murderer, I make a value judgment that you're wrong and you're a bad person. You're a bad person, because no matter what else you think. So you can't get over that fact that you're equating the killing of the fetus with killing a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a killer, I can't support you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you hear people going to. They're in the news on the advertising their political beliefs and things like that. But it's such a divisive issue because of, in other words, if you're talking about money, we could compromise. But what only point I'm making about abortion is we don't talk about it because we can't figure out a way to bridge this gap.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. What do you think? What's your first reaction to that?
I mean, it's a perfect flashpoint for the division. Like that debate is carries so much of the other baggage or whatever. There's something fundamental in that debate that is very definitive of the two polar, which is fascinating to me because politics has so much to do with other stuff, but that's still a good place to start as any, and better than most places to start in terms of discussing that philosophical divide. Like, what's the difference? What separates the two sides? I know that like Charlie Kirk is one of his favorite topics,
Right?
Because it's if you take the conservative, especially the Christian conservative viewpoint on that topic, they would love to have that debate any day of the week, because it's once you accept their presupposition that life begins at conception, it's a really hard thing to argue.
Exactly.
It's hard, and you can see, especially why young minds are thinking about stuff for the first time. You can see why the right wants to have that conversation and the left doesn't. The left needs to have that conversation way more often because they're not very good at that debate. I've watched a lot of Charlie Kirk, and you can just see him winning that conversation every time, quote unquote winning. But and there's a part of me that's like, we're gonna have to get better at making this case, but it's not easy, because once, like I say, if life begins at conception, I mean, Kether will get mad at me for saying this. But I have often viewed my stance on it as that I sort of agree with them, and using their words, I would agree that it's murder, but I don't care. Like that's like that. Yeah, she hates that argument.
I can see why. It's all right to murder someone. I have trouble with that one myself.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess I could talk more and more about it, but I feel like that's just sort of like the harsh way of describing what I believe.
What you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a part of what you just said is part of our problem. It's a hard thing to talk about
Mm-hmm.
with anybody because everybody's got a different story. Let me just share that when I was growing up, I've talked to a lot of women over the years, and I bet the women would agree with me. From my age, in that time, we were having abortions, but you didn't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You went to visit your grandmother in Minnesota for 2 weeks, and you came back, and you weren't pregnant anymore, because at the junior high party, you got with your boyfriend, and it was a warm night, and y'all just got cozy, and all of a sudden you're pregnant, and you're not going to change your whole life. So, you know, but we didn't. You would agree in church that it's wrong, but people were doing it. And the thing I also want to say about abortion, and of course, but I'm dealing with women in my life that I've known, is that you're scarred forever in some way. It's like my Vietnam friends. We're all scarred in different ways, but giving away a baby is a hard thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, there are too many babies in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're awfully easy to produce. So I don't know where that fits into the picture, but there's just a whole lot of things you could look at there. But, you know, what happens if we say it's against the law to have an abortion? You think abortions are going to stop? No, they're going to have abortions, and poor people are going to get unsafe abortions, and rich people are going to go to Minnesota and see a fancy doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it would work. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of talking. It's your turn.
I don't have much to add about that. I mean, I agree. I'm sort of like him. He phrased it a weird way. It's murder, but I don't care. I would rather, if you don't care enough about murdering it, then you don't care enough about raising it. Like if I've known a lot of people, you know, just I think their lives would be ruined if they had a baby. The baby's life wouldn't be any good. So yeah, so it's like, man, I mean, that's, to me, it's one of just, I mean, it's a terrible, horrible decision to make, but I have no problem with anybody making that decision.
I think like an interesting quagmire of the conversation, the reason why the debate is so rough, and maybe one of the reasons why I would revert to such harsh language, is I don't have a lot of patience with the debate about when life begins. Like, I just don't feel like that's the right tact. Like, you hear people talk for hours about when is it no longer okay, or what, like, when does it become a life, and there's so many, you know, ways people talk about it, like when it can live outside of the mother and things like that. But I feel like that's like I don't. It's like an opinion or something.
Everybody can have their own way of looking at that.
Right.
And you need to allow for that.
Mm-hmm.
But
It seems like intellectual gymnastics to try to I've never heard a very compelling version of that. Like, nothing that would ever sway somebody on the other side of that debate. Or, you know what I mean? Like,
you know, I could put an arbitrary date on it. In other words, if you're going to have an abortion, you ought to have it within like 3 weeks of when, you know, you ought to get that abortion done before the baby develops.
mm-hmm.
But if you wait till 6 months, then I'd say you should have the baby, and if you can't take care of it, we'll go to a hospital and we'll get it to somebody that will. But there's no reason to end that life.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be, I think, where I would go if you wanted to solve it. Because, you know, I used to say in class, you know, if a sperm meets an egg and you've got a zygote, well, if the zygote, I mean, you're just alive then. You're over here, half of you's alive, and over here, half of you's alive. So if you, you know, like 90 million of these guys aren't making it to the party. I mean, how do you reckon? So that's where you get into when does life start? I'm saying these are alive and these are alive. This is just two cells together that until they split apart. So it's when they split apart, that's where it gets arbitrary. How long you can go. But I think in terms of the society, and you could determine at what age, at what time. In other words, having a late abortion, there might be a medical reason for that, which would be fine.
That's pretty much the only time that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like the one thing I do feel like happens a lot is when I hear this debate happen, a lot of times people on the left roll their eyes at the conservative conviction of the sanctity of life.
Right.
And it's like they feel like conservatives are making that argument in bad faith, and I don't think that's true. I feel like there are millions of conservative Americans that believe that with all their heart and are horrified by the reality of abortion. They genuinely consider it a slaughter of innocence that's happening in real time.
And then you go back to that's why
in great numbers.
That's why this is an important topic, because we need to get past that divide, and that's exactly what I'm saying.
And I feel like you got to meet that with respect and with the dignity that their conviction deserves. I feel like the argument for me, what makes me very pro-choice is a list of things still, but one is one of my big ones is if the government is forcing women to carry babies, then the government becomes the weapon of abusive men in the world that can impregnate a woman, and they're forced to have it because of the government. Like it becomes a weapon. That forced carrying of a child is something that could be used against women. And
I was going to say that another idea I had about this, that in terms of how you might solve it, one of the things is I believe that whoever the father is of that child should share everything in terms of legal stuff. That would go back to what you're talking about.
Can you imagine trying to enforce that, though? That'd be...
Well, it might change people's attitudes because men don't want to be bothered by it. But, a woman's changing her life to have a baby, and the man's not, he can actually walk away. That's just not right either. So if the man was responsible.
But then again, the not as an argument, but also men don't really have the say of whether she has it or not. So a woman can get an abortion for a baby a man wants to have.
Well, there'd be a problem there.
It's very tough stuff.
Yeah, it is.
It's very complicated stuff.
But it needs to be talked about.
But and the conservatives have to admit that if you truly believe the argument that you're making, then you also believe that a woman that's been raped or is a victim of incest should have the baby as well. Because the sanctity of life does not change because of the context of that scenario. So you just have to admit
that's an excellent point.
that it's a gruesome thing that if the world goes your way, this is the horror that comes along with your belief. Each one has some dark stuff attached.
That's a great point. I hadn't thought of that, or I hadn't dealt with it. Yeah, that's very true. Well, it's a tough situation, and that's why nobody talks about it, because there doesn't really seem to be a good answer.
I mean, the good answer, I think, is pro-choice. Where to me, the other big thing about it is that it's a privacy issue, that this decision should be made it's a woman, her family, and her doctor. And the government just has no role in any of these decisions. It's a privacy issue because say you make an exception for rape because that's just too brutal, too much. Well, now it's like so now this woman has to prove to the government like it, like this is private stuff, like if somebody wants to keep this stuff private, and there's a privacy issue as well there. If you make exceptions.
Yeah, I don't think any men are going to like the law I was talking about. For
Well, like the
of
government-
having to
that they would be setting up to prove, with genetics, who
can
the
you
father is.
can you not support a baby? Can a man just walk away entirely? Yeah.
I mean, you're legal.
What's child support? Is that just marriages?
That would be the one legal.
What's a legal thing? Yeah, but if they just walk out and gone.
That would be the one upheld legality, I think. But as far as having anything to do with it, you don't have to.
And most women I know that have that with like a father that they're not married to, that they don't pay child support.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're supposed to. They can get a check out of them every once in a while. Well, and also that the government thing. I don't want to say that pregnancy is just a medical condition, but it basically is science. It's a medical condition. That's like if the government said, "Well, you're not doing your diabetes right. We want to get in and help monitor it." Or if you have cancer, you can't say you're going to stop treatment. You got it. It's like you said, government should have no any other medical condition. Your congressman's not coming down there. What's your diabetic results? Let me know what they are. We need to get you on a program. You'd be like, get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So how can they come down and say, oh, you want to get rid of your horrible decision that is going to bother you for a long time, but no, you can't do it.
And that's a soft spot that conservatives have in their armor is government intrusion into your life. There's ways to word that they've already claimed they want very limited government and no government overreach and all that kind of. So there's a soft spot in their armor in that regard. Although conservatives famously don't mind government intrusion when it's in their moral behalf, like war on drugs.
Right. Well, I've thought about that, not a lot, but before, when people are talking about abortion, I think, man, I would rather be, the baby can't decide, but I'd rather be just stopped before. Would it be better to be like, all right, you're born, we're going to put you up for adoption? Like, if you have somebody waiting for you, that's one thing. But if we're just going to take you to the orphanage and good luck, Or would it be better to be raised by somebody that never really wanted you in the first place? I mean, neither option really seems that great to me. It's like, if somebody said, this is what we're going to do, you're going to live your life, and this is how it's going to be, I'd be like, is there any way to just not start this whole thing? I don't have to go through all that. It's almost like the kind thing is like, look, you haven't done anything wrong. You're just not wanted right now. Nothing to do with you. Nobody knows you. It's like a blind date, and somebody says, I've got a blind date for you. I don't even want to meet the guy. I'm just not interested. Mm-hmm. It's just like, just shut this down before anything gets involved.
With the whole Christian nationalist movement that we're dealing with, it's very fascinating how the abortion debate spirals into their whole worldview, like the role of women at all. Like, because the Christian nationalist, the trad wife thing is a whole meme now, that the woman's place is in the home. Women were happier before they tried to get into the workplace. This idea, and in a way, like abortion is one of the pro-choice, the availability of it really sort of helped women break free from those shackles of their role in the world. And it's interesting how it ties into all those dynamics of feminism.
Yep.
and
That's a good point.
It's a perfect starting point for the cultural divide on so many levels.
Yep.
And one way that would really subvert women's independence is to force them to have the babies. Because that, even on your career path, that takes you out for a year, and even more if you really want to be with your baby. You know, like it's there are definitely women we all know that achieved what they did in life because they had that abortion at that one point in their life, and they stayed on the track they were on. They didn't have to, just like men, you just stay on the track you're on.
No doubt about it.
Now, when did the pill come out? Wasn't that the late '60s?
I think so.
Like,
Yeah.
did you notice like in your, we don't want to know your whole sex life, but the general tone of the world, did that change when that happened?
Not in my world. No,
Not in my
I don't think.
world.
You know,
Wait,
it
when what
definitely.
happened?
When the pill became available. Yeah.
All right.
Like,
I
did,
mean, it
did you all of a
definitely-
sudden notice people were more, a little bit looser?
I think so. Yeah, I think, again, that's a very private issue, but I would say probably that's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In general, I think you could easily say that.
Because like
I
we
don't know
grew
what
up,
the
like it
statistics
was
are,
every,
but-
it was that's
Yeah.
all we did.
Yeah, you had a sense of freedom, especially for a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Men are just dumb and not thinking anything anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're only thinking one thing. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the end of that segment.
That was
And what do you think?
Then we're back to things that everybody talks about. How was this weather?
How about them Cubs? Thought they were going to pull it off, but
about them Red Sox?
that's old news there now.
Out early.
I haven't heard of them lately.
I was glad to see him make it, and make it interesting.
Yeah.
That picture that the Yankees got that young kid, what an amazing game! I'll never forget that.
Look at him. He looks like he's drifted off in the dream world right now thinking about it. I'll never forget that.
Picturing that young, he's like 20 or something. He's like 22 or something. I'm picturing him just all composed, throwing 99ers right down the middle. Nobody knows what to do with it. It's horrible to watch as a Red Sox fan, but beautiful to watch for the game of baseball.
Yeah. Now, how about Dallas? You scared to death every game with them? Or?
Man, are we really going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys? We shouldn't. There's not a lot to say. It's been rough being, it's 30 years now of not really doing anything. So it's just another season. They're not really doing much.
still
Again,
pretty close in the division though, because everybody's losing.
Yeah.
Everyone's losing. We're like maybe the weakest division in the league now.
No, did y'all watch that Giants game with Scatterboo? Oh my God, that was crazy.
He's nuts.
Against the Eagles?
Yeah, just like
Any game with him in it.
It was crazy. I'd never seen him play before. I
It's
was like,
crazy. Yeah, he used to play for Arizona State in college.
What makes them crazy?
He was nuts.
he's like this tiny. He's like just a typical frat boy. Just like nothing's. There's a beer keg over there. I'm gonna get to it. Arrgh! Like 4 or 5 guys hanging on him, just legs never stop moving. Then he scores a touchdown. He does a flip, and one of the old quarterback that played for everybody, Fitzpatrick. They got him to strip his shirt off on a couple weeks ago on TV. So Scatterboo comes up, rips his shirt off, and that guy does like this.
I saw somebody say, he's like, remember Gronk?
Yeah.
Remember Gronkowski
Yeah.
from the New England Patriots? He was there with Tom Brady when they were winning all those Super
Yeah.
Bowls. And he was
Sort
a
of.
really big tight end guy, and he was like a kind of a personality too. And he's gone
Yeah.
on to become like a
Yeah.
sports television personality guy.
Commercials
Done
and
some
stuff.
commercials and stuff. Anyway, this guy might be like he's like the new kind of Gronk kind of guy. Like
He's like the working
he's-
class
he's an
hero, you know.
unbelievable runner though. I mean, if he runs like this, he's got like 3 years tops.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
league. But he's wild to watch.
That's fun.
I mean, he'll just be like, "Hey, run through that wall right there." He'll try it
Yeah.
because that's how he looks out like he's running every time he's got the ball. That there's a wall in front of him and he just got dared.
And people
He's
are
the
like
Kool-Aid
people
man.
are hitting him and sliding off, and he's like got 2 guys hanging on him. He's still like somehow trudging forward and falls down.
Big dude too.
Yeah.
Short but big.
Have you gotten into football so far?
Oh yeah.
You know who we're talking about, Steve? Have you seen?
Oh
this
yeah.
guy?
Yeah.
He's one of a kind, I think.
He's very interesting.
Yeah,
Low to the ground.
right. I wouldn't want to try to hit him. Forget that.
It's like a bowling ball with powerful legs.
Any team you're enjoying watching more than others, or
I don't know.
you never had a football team, did you?
Not so much. When I was a kid, I was a Redskin fan.
Mm-hmm.
All growing up. And, no, I just kind of picked quarterbacks and players and coaches. And now, because I do the fantasy, I root for players, not teams.
Mm-hmm.
I bet on, you can bet these games where you pick the best quarterback from 4 games and stuff like that. So I'm studying them for their personal data, not whether they win the game or not. So I'll watch a game and I don't even know what the score is. I've just been looking at my 6 players. It's kind of weird, but it gets me through the day. So I don't do the regular gambling. I just do the fantasy. I can control my money better that way.
What's your team's name?
Stupel.
Stupel.
Yeah. It was a character I made up for a little book I wrote one time.
Oh, man.
It just came to me. I like Stupel.
Yeah, there's a good ring to it.
Yeah.
I was
You can
on,
call me Stupel if you ever see me. I'll respond.
Stupel.
Friday, I was running late to work, like really late. Like I knew I wasn't going to get there on time. And I was like, oh, God, just, I'm supposed to be there at 8:30. It was like 8:25. I was getting in the car. I was like, ah. And that thing came to me about, I'm glad you didn't write, we have a dog, his favorite band is Styx. So I wrote it. I was like, I'm going to forget that. So I wrote it. And then I came to the party later. I was like, God, Lex and Nathan and Steve, they're all a-holes. Nobody even responded to that. And she was like, oh, I thought they
laughed
would.
at it.
Well, this was Friday. And so Catherine was like, well, that's weird. And I thought Nathan would probably like that line. He'd probably know that's the way his mind thinks. And then I was like, well, whatever. I'm not going to hold a grudge against you. Then I go home. I was in such a hurry, I never sent it. It's still sitting there. And all during the party, I was like, God, they don't even laugh at one of my best jokes. And then so Sunday, I'm like, damn it, I was in such a rush, I never hit send.
Oh, James. Kyle, while you were saying that, I got distracted. Do you have a lightning bolt on the side of your head?
No, in my hair?
Turn, look that way. You don't have a thing?
Not on purpose.
No?
You see what he's...
You see it, Steve?
It looks like the number 3.
Well,
It's a trio.
that's sort of lightning
Right.
looking.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they put a little thing in your hair when they did it.
I think they might have,
They didn't
Kyle.
tell you that.
It looks like the number
Look at
3,
Nathan
man.
again. We got to show the audience.
It could be a bird, the way they draw birds.
Everybody sees that, right? Okay. Holler
Does it
if
look
you
like
hear
a
me.
3?
Man, I go to work, I have to wear one of those CPAP things, which I don't wear very often, but once in a while I do. And I had to go to this thing up in the mountains yesterday, like a fancy meeting. And for so I got up at like 7:30. At 11:30, my cheeks still had indentions from that stupid mask. Looked like I had like playing football and drawing like lines on my face. And people kept coming to me, oh, do you wear a CPAP? And I'm like, yeah, you still got the marks in your face. I could not get them to go away.
Oh, that's so
And
weird.
I was like, oh my God, what if these things have gone permanent in my face?
You start worrying about your circulation. It's like when your sock lines don't go away.
I
You're just like,
know.
oh my God, what? Still?
My feet have turned
I
into
took these
sausages.
socks off hours ago. I'm dying. I'm definitely dying now.
So maybe that CPAP machine put the lightning bolt on the side of my
You
head.
can solve that, by the way, by just not changing your socks.
Oh, just never seeing it.
Yeah, don't ever.
I mean, I thought that was only me. Sometimes I take them off and like, man, I never knew how was I able to walk? Like my feet didn't go dead. There's something. I cut all the elastic out of my socks.
God, I just flashed on how long it's been since I've seen my hands all pruned up from water like they used to always happen when I was younger and actually did things.
When you like go swimming and take a
It
bath?
happened all the time. I mean, I was washing things, swimming, hanging out in water. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen my little I don't even know if they still do. Maybe it just doesn't happen anymore. Maybe my older hands don't do that. Before I forget, reach down there, Kyle. That white thing. You got a
This?
present sent to you by a Jabberjawn fan.
I did?
Through the mail. Dad did.
Oh, good. It's heavy.
It is heavy. It's a whole thing.
Look at that.
Drum roll,
Good
please.
Lord.
This was sent to you by a viewer.
A viewer. Goodness gracious. This is pretty exciting.
You need me?
Grab that, yeah.
Let me tear it up a little bit.
Yeah, if you can.
We're gonna cut to a commercial right now. We'll be back in just a few
Here,
minutes.
it's coming out.
There you go.
It's a book.
Look at that.
Wow. What it's like to be a bird.
Linda sent you that.
Who?
Linda.
Right. Well, thank you, Linda. That's wonderful. How sweet.
Yeah, and it's for you to read to the grandkids and stuff. And of course, you'll just love it
yeah,
yourself.
That's wonderful.
Do you know that book?
I've seen it. I don't know where, but I don't have it. Now I do. That's exciting.
Are there good pictures in it? I haven't even looked
Yeah,
at
it's
it.
got pictures. Beautiful. Oh, look at that flicker.
Oh, look at that flicker.
You gotta see that flicker.
Flicker. I hardly know her.
You see him over there in a Stewart Hall yard a lot in the summertime.
Oh, wow.
And we-
What's it called again?
It's a yellow shafted flicker.
What's the book called?
Oh, the book. What it's like to be a bird.
What it's like. I wonder what that angle is.
Well, I think it's the psychology. That's what I've studied in college, bird psychology.
Wow.
Bird psychology.
It was a brand new cutting edge course. It didn't
They
last.
called it avian psychology. I knew what it
You
was.
and Kether could team up on that.
Oh man, Lex, somehow you gotta get put into the course guide next year, avian psychology. You gotta sneak that in.
Yeah, that would be great.
See who signs up for it. Bunch of bird brains, probably.
Perfect. Thank you, Linda. That's sweet.
John wants to know, did we discuss Nathan's album? The last two Jabberjahns, we went pretty deep, did a pretty deep dive.
It's still worth
in-
discussing, though.
We had one good conversation while I was making it, and then we had one last week. Once it was out to the world, they did a special preview edition of their Siskel and Ebert review of it. And I
Have you
think it
got
was
any
2 thumbs up as far as I remember.
Have you got any updates on what's going on with it?
Not real. I mean, I'm doing the promo campaign, which I've been having a lot of fun with.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I'll finish my promo campaign, and then on to the next thing, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I don't even know how this works. This makes me look like I'm so out of touch with reality, which I guess I am. So if somebody gets on one of these sites, do they have to actually know how to get in touch with you, or can you respond like on that site and say, "Hey, I loved it," or?
Well, it's mostly like comments on the posts I've been making.
Okay, but so it's mostly people that know you already. Like if somebody just got it, like just somebody scanning around.
Yeah, like if they're just on Spotify and come across it, there's nowhere to comment on Spotify, as far as I know. Any of the actual streaming platforms.
Right.
The only place I'm interacting with people is like Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and YouTube or whatever, where I'm sharing the ads. But a couple of people have definitely been like, no, but more so than not, people seem just curious,
Right.
which is fun. Oh, no, you're good. Yeah. All right. I hope he likes it. The one thing is sort of neat, I realized that even though a lot of the paradigms have changed and everything, releasing it onto Spotify and the streaming platforms does feel like a real record in the sense that I can't change it anymore.
Right.
Like that's the real beauty of it. That's what makes it a real record, almost more than anything else.
The bird has
It
left the
has a
roost.
cover. Yeah, it's flown the nest. Like I there was one thing I heard back. I was like, I should have. There's been a couple of things where I wanted to change it and couldn't. So I was like, all right, well that makes it a real record. If nothing else, it exists in a form in the world. Anyone that wants to hear it can, and I can't change it. So that it is real. The putting stuff on this streaming platform, I realize now I might take a little more time next time. Now that I realize I wanted to get it out of. I have a famous history of overthinking and over mixing stuff that I'm making, to where at one point it sounds really cool, and then I keep going and I sort of mix and overthink the life out of it. And I didn't want that to happen this time. So there was a part of me that's sort of just, it's like a painter finishing a painting. Right. At a certain point, you just have to force yourself to put the brush down.
Right.
You want to do another stroke, but that's, a lot of painters talk about that being the most hardest thing to learn, is when to stop.
That's a good point. What was that famous line?
There is a famous line about that.
The girl singer, knowing when to leave, something.
Oh, yeah.
Michelle Shock.
Yeah.
The key to a good life is knowing when to leave.
Mm-hmm. Knowing when it's time to go.
Yeah, I don't think I had it exactly.
We did it. We even talked about stuff no one talks about. Our new segment. We'll come up with some graphics for your next topic.
You need to mention Sunday. Did you mention Sunday?
You got to figure it out? You know what time it is.
In a couple weeks. But it's coming.
So again, the Noof Manoosh, the Nathan Moore Trio, will be performing this Sunday at the Black Friars. It's $20 in advance, $30 at the door. So you might want to get those advance tickets so we can figure out how to make that happen. And yeah, it's at 6:30 showtime.
6:30.
We're looking forward to it.
Ooh, that looks like my cat.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. I love that picture, Dad's. You know, so Dad got this cat. Well, this cat showed up at Joe and Hunter's house, and they didn't know what to do with it. And Dad was like, "Well, I'll just let it hang out here for a little while."
I've got mice.
I didn't know if I could say that. That's Dad was like, "Well, I got mice."
We all have our problems. They're not perfect.
The things no one talks about. Next week, mice.
So we're all pretty excited about this because Dad does not have cats as a rule, just in general. But so I went over and I was like, "So where's this cat?" And Dad was like, "I haven't seen it in days." Like
It was 8 days. I never saw it.
Never saw it. Like it could have gotten out.
But the food would be gone in the morning.
Right. That was always the sign. And I looked all over the house. I never found it. So do you know where it hides?
He goes in the basement.
Goes in the basement.
I think the basement is his domain.
Well, Joe and I received a text message the other day of this cat, and upon closer scrutiny, it's on Dad's lap, and you just wrote "bonding?" ? I think was all it said.
He just came out one night. I fed him, and when I pour the thing in, he can hear it. And I sat down, and I hadn't seen him, and there he came walking around, and he ate his food, and then he just looked at me and started walking toward me. And I put my hand down, and he came and sniffed it, and I rubbed his head, and all of a sudden he jumped up in my lap.
Wow.
So now he'll come But he's, you know, I don't want him to get real needy and be around crying and all that stuff. So far he's been pretty smart about it.
Wow.
Like
this is so
he's
exciting.
done a couple things I haven't wanted him to do, like scratching on the couch, and I've yelled at him and he runs away, but then he's not doing it. He's scratching somewhere. He's scratching after I go to bed, but you know, but we're getting along
Oh, that's
Did he melt your cold heart a little bit?
a little bit.
Just a little bit?
I'm afraid. I don't like that.
I know you don't.
I know you don't. I've tried for so many years.
Well, I'll keep you updated, but I do have a
Have you
cat.
named it? Him or her?
Yeah, I named him the first night. I named him Mosby.
Mosby.
Because he's gray like yours, and he was little, and he's a gray ghost. I saw him twice in 9 days, and now I can't get rid of him.
Did you change song?
Oh, you saw it, Heather? Yeah, calling an audible on the line. I saw the defense was stacked in a way I feel like we can get through. So he says, "Go Dodgers."
Yeah.
He also says that he's in a plane.
Wow.
He's in a plane right now,
Wow.
able to tune
Hey,
in.
everybody else on the plane.
Yeah.
Hey, whoever's sitting beside Saul. It's a good man beside you. Take care of him. I'm used to sidewalks shouting down the passers-by. I'm used to doing backflips just to catch someone's eye. If you've seen me in lights, you know I can be more dazzling than most. But I got almost no practice up this close. Hold me if you want to. Hold me or let me go. Anything you want, you let me know. Let me know your secrets. I want to know your fears. I want to know your laugh. Let me know your tears. When you close your eyes to drop your wishes in the well, well, I'm closing mine now to do tell. Hold me if you want to. Hold me or let me go. Anything you want, you let me know. I'm used to acting tough like a peacock, putting on a show. Hard noses still smell roses, they just never take the time to know they know. Now the sun is sinking slow, the first time I hope it doesn't hurry on. Take time unto dawn. Hold me if you want to. Hold me or let me go. Anything anything you want, you let me know. Anything you want, you let me know.
Yeah.
Hey, we did it again.
Good one.
We will see you next time. Thank you for joining us.
And listen to the new album for another version of that song.
That's right. That's off the new record. Check it out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like your new segment.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm not afraid to talk about whatever people aren't willing to talk about.
Yeah, I don't even have any clue, but the next one, that one just popped up. But it was based on the idea that, abortion is so serious. It's almost in the now that you're operating like Charlie Kirk. And that's where the hate comes in.